We are now joined by tomorrow's pole sitter, Tyler Reddick, driver of the number 45 2311 Racing Toyota. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll start in the back, and then we'll come up here to Bob.
Jacob Seelman, Raceface Digital. Tyler, this is the I believe the second Tim Richmond throwback you've run for Throwback Weekend, the Folger Scheme and Xfinity, and now this one this weekend. What is it about Tim's career that's kind of inspired you and wanted you to pay homage to him during these weekends?
It was actually the old Milwaukee scheme, but yeah. I think for me, just he's a driver that I've said it a few times, but he's a type of driver, in my opinion, that whether he was at the track, away from the track, he was always living life to the fullest and really happy living the life he was. And I think, you know, there's a lot of truth to that, right? If you're, you know, throughout your week just dreading whatever it is, it bleeds into what happens and what you take to the racetrack. And I think, in my opinion, Tim was always happy doing whatever he was doing. How he lived his life during the week, what he would do, he was having fun, he was enjoying himself, and that crept over into the race weekend and allowed him to get in the car with a great mindset and go out there and drive the daylights out of it. So I think for me that's a big part of it. And then obviously what he could do inside of a race car too is something that I always extremely appreciated about him.
We'll come up here to Bob.
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports. Is this a statement after last week? Because I think you probably expected more at Kansas.
Yeah, we did for sure. We never really gave ourselves a chance, though. I made some pretty big mistakes early in the race, tore the car pretty bad, and we still were able to get back up to 5th with a pretty damaged race car. But, yeah, finishing 20th and running where we did in Stage 3 was not what we wanted. So, I mean, it's okay. It happens. So we just we were extra motivated when we went back to the shop this week, Bob, and it got us. We got our mindset right, and we brought a really fast Toyota Camry, and we did a good job in practice, understanding what our car needed for qualifying, and we just maximized qualifying well.
Is it hard to make it feel okay when that car had won 3 of the last 4 races at Kansas? Like, I mean, how?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like to some extent the speed was there, but we were missing some other things. But knowing the speed that the 11 had and the other Toyotas had, yeah, it hurt. But these things happen in racing. So we certainly learned a lot from it. We definitely had a lot of takeaways from it. So, yeah, you never want to go on a track that you have a good track record at and run that bad. But we learned a lot from it. And when we go back when it matters a lot in the playoffs, we'll have a lot to go off of.
We'll go to Pete on the right.
Hey, Pete Acabelli with the Associated Press here in South Carolina. Tyler, you've had a number of really strong runs here at Darlington the last few years. What is it about this track that suits you?
I think I have a lot of fun racing here. I have a lot of fun racing other competitors, but I have a lot of fun just running laps at this track as well. My first ever laps in the next gen car, in the NASCAR Next Gen version 3 car, was here. We had a test. Thing was a handful to drive. Had a lot of fun in it. I've had other rookie tests here as well, or a rookie test, I guess. So I had to learn a lot about an Xfinity car and the new Cup car at a place like this, and that's challenging to do. So, yeah, I've had some unique experiences that have probably helped me get better here, but I think the biggest thing is just the way the tires wear out and the amount you have to move around, the amount of risk you have to take every single lap, and manage that for a whole race has kind of benefited me in how I drive a race car.
We'll go over here to your left.
Jumping ahead a week, we're going to All-Star Race next week on full spread, new pavement, option tires. How do you approach that? What do you think about that?
To be honest, haven't given it a whole lot of thought yet, but I'd say, seeing how those tires perform up to the standard, benchmark tire, if you will, that we're going to run as well. that'll really open up the options depending on the differences between the two. But yeah, I think with the place being repaved, a new surface, it's just going to be a lot different from what we saw last year. So just got to go in there with a new mindset. But I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that that option tire gives, you know, the fans and the drivers' teams what they're looking for.
When you look back on last year, how excited were you back there for a second?
Yeah, last year was a lot of fun. You know, it was unfortunate we had to patch and seam as much as we did, and then Kyle figured out the concrete around the bottom 3 and 4 was really good too. So it was a very interesting experience. I certainly had a lot of fun last year. It was just so cool to see that place brought back to life, and I'm excited to get back there again, experience it one more time.
We'll go to Matt and then Trenton.
Matt Weaver, Sports Night. One follow-up from Chris's question. Is your biggest concern for Wilkesboro that the option tire will fall off so great that basically everyone just kind of reverts back to the standard tire the rest of the races? Like, is that a fair concern?
Well, I guess in some ways, yes. If that option tire isn't considerably faster on the front end, I think, yes, that would be a concern. So, I mean, we'll just see what it's like, right? If it's considerably faster for 7-8 laps on the beginning of a run and falls off a little bit more, probably, you know, 20 plus in, then I think that's what you're looking for. You know, what you don't want to see out of the tire will make it more difficult to use if it's only about a tenth faster taking off, but after about 10 it really starts to go the wrong way. So we'll just see what that looks like when we get there.
And then this weekend they have you guys on the standard intermediate tire, Kansas, Vegas, Texas. Pretty different than what you guys ran here the last 2 years. Could you tell anything in practice in terms of how that could change the racing?
I mean, it's hard to really say at a place like this. You know, it seemed like the rubber going down made it a little more slick than it normally has been. But I was, you know, the first practice out on the day. The track had sat all night, and it's sometimes hard to get a good read on that. You know, it really starts to show itself more so in the race. But we'll go back through and look at everything between all the different Toyotas. But it definitely seemed a little bit different. And how the tire wears lap 15 and on, or how the car changes lap 15 and on.
Tyler, Trenton with FrontStretch.com. Got a fun one for you. You posted on Twitter your family's reactions to the mustache. How long is Alexa going to let you keep that mustache?
We will see. I don't think it'll be long, but if I win tomorrow, I'm just going to have to keep it around. So we'll see. Hopefully we win, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Any final questions for Tyler? All right. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.